Welcome to a special episode of the Melanin Mayhem podcast, hosted by your favorite country girl, Renee Davis. So, what's so special about this episode? Baby, it's our anniversary. Yes, it's our anniversary. It's been one whole year of Melanin Mayhem makers across the board, honey. I went from introducing y'all to Roberta Elder and how she killed all her family to becoming y'all's family in one short year. All I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all took the time to stream your girl, run your girl's numbers up, love on me, and I appreciate you more than you will ever know. And if this is your first time and you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on over here at Mayhem Manor, well, let me tell you, honey, I run it down for you. All the details of some prolific melanated mayhem makers that did some diabolical shit. And we ain't even know about it. I hunt down stories from all over and bring them to you because it's my mission in life to make sure that we know and that we understand that this myth that there are crimes that black people don't commit is just that. It's a myth, honey. It's all cap because we did and we are still doing this diabolical, audacious, and downright fucktastic criminal shenanigans all over the place. And baby, I do this every Wednesday, just like clockwork. And honeys, to my motherfucking crew, I'm talking about the fabulous members of the newer nation, my peoples, the one that go hard in the paint for the country girl. Hey, Sugarfoot. We back at it, honey, and it's our anniversary. And guess what? I got gifts. You know the country girl don't show up empty-handed, and you know she don't do it half-ass either, baby. But you gotta wait till the end of the episode to see what I got for you. Okay. So this week, I'm going to tell the story just a little bit different from our usual. You know what I'm saying? Normally, I have a gang of crimes and I run them down and we tell the story kind of like it was happening. But this week, it ain't happened like that. Let me tell you something. If it had not been for our mayhem maker snitching on his damn self, we probably never would have known how much bullshit our mayhem maker was into because the police for damn sure didn't even know it was some crime going on, even though somebody tried to tell them. Our mayhem maker this week was a rolling stone, honey, and wherever he laid his hat, women died. Black women died specifically. But nobody knew of the crimes. This motherfucker got so many killings under his belt that we may well never know the true number that's out there. Today, I'm bringing this low-down, dirty motherfucker to the front of the congregation. This week's Melanin Mayhem maker is Mr. Darren Dion Van. I call him the nigga that snitched on himself, and we thankful for it. All right, now let's get into the bullshit. Now, you know I love a good rant and a good rave on the police not spotting a pattern right. Well, this week I get to rant and rave about the police ignoring the pattern when it was put right in front of their goddamn faces. You see, it all started when a smart motherfucker named Thomas Hargrove started his own database of murderations from all around the country. Now, Thomas could be considered the godfather of true crime fanatics a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because since 2010, using his own time and money, he started cataloging records of all the murders since 1976 in the U.S. That's a lot of goddamn murders, right? He went mostly for the unsolved and looking for patterns. See, in 2010, he created an algorithm that searched for statistical anomalies out of the regular, degular, run-of-the-mill killation. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to look for no drug deals gone wrong. He wasn't looking for no crimes of passion. He wasn't looking for people who were related in some type of way that were killing each other. No, he just wanted the anomalies. People who died and they couldn't figure out why the fuck and who the fuck, right? So again, in 2010, he looking at his little algorithm and he see that in Lake County, Indiana, which includes Gary, Indiana, it seemed like that motherfucker was popping off the charts with suspicious murders, right? He saw that from 1980 to 2008, 15 women had their water turned off by strangulation. Now, a gang of them women had been found in abandoned houses. So, Thomas, being the good, upstanding citizen that he was, he reached out to the Gary Police Department and he was like, hey, look at the spreadsheet of these murders in your county. It looks like there may be a serial killer or three on the loose. Now, you would think that the police department would be appreciative of a smart motherfucker taking the time to try to assist and look at the motherfucking data that he provided. You know what? You'd be wrong as hell because the Gary Police Department was like, boy, bye. We ain't trying to hear none of that. We good. Now, you know, for some, that rejection would be enough to just leave the shit alone. I tried. Y'all didn't want to hear it. Fuck y'all. But Thomas, a crime aficionado, as well as a member in good standing with the Casserole Caucus, he wasn't taking no for an answer. Fuck you mean no? Of course, now he want to speak to the manager. He was like, the fuck they think I'm doing? Not me. So he kept that bugging the Gary Police Department every fucking day with phone calls and emails and shit. I mean, this motherfucker actually took time and money to send certified letters in the motherfucking mail to the chief of police and the goddamn mayor, both of which, I might add, were black men. I ain't gonna even throw their names out here and drag their ass for filth right now. I'ma leave that to the New World Nation. Y'all go look and see who the Gary, Indiana police chief was and the doggone mayor. That damn police chief, he couldn't be bothered with trying to solve some crimes and shit because he was into his own lawless bullshit. But I ain't gonna get into that right now because this is not about him. Needless to say, though, Thomas was not trying to hear none of that shit. Again, anytime you take time and money to send certified letters in the mail, you know this certified mail is getting a signature, so you know that somebody is getting this shit that you sending, and they ignoring the fuck out your ass. So Thomas started sending everybody a letter in government, and one of his letters got to the goddamn coroner. And you know what? She agreed with Thomas because she had been doing a little detective work on her own and she had found 3 or 4 cases where something in the milk wasn't clean. And so between her and Thomas, they had a list of about 21 ladies gone too soon in the same manner of death. And Gary PD was like, fuck that and fuck both of y'all. The goddamn audacity, right? And I'm telling you, they stood on that fucked up business until 4 years later in 2014 when what they thought was a crime of passion murder fell off into some serial killer shit. Let me tell you how it all went down. You see, Darren Dion Van, he was born March 21st, 1971 in Gary, Indiana. He had parents, of course, but who they were is a mystery, honey. Research says that he moved around a lot as a kid, and that type of behavior carried through to his adulthood, right? And you know, maybe in an effort to do something with his life or some shit, he joined the Marine Corps in 1991. But that shit didn't last long, right? Buddy got bounced right on out of there in 1993 on some thank you but no thank you type of discharge. Well, still trying to find himself. He out here looking for a woman. He looking for love. And he finds love. Darren met his future wife, Maria Matlock, in 1991 in Indiana. Now, according to Maria, Darren was a kind, intelligent, very relaxed, and nice to everyone. She had found her prince. And I mean prince indeed, because Maria's ass was 30 years older than Darren. He was 20 and her ass was 50. Okay, Maria, you's a cougar's cougar. She was a OG paymaster. What they call them, a snow leopard or some shit? I don't know. Whatever it was, Maria had her a young tenderoni, and she went right on and married that ass at the courthouse on October 30th, 1995. And her and Darren just enjoying newlywed life in Austin, Texas. Well, they was kind of sort of enjoying it because you see, Maria had a son that was around Darren's age and he wasn't feeling none of that shit. Y'all know y'all kids is not about to let you come up in the house with a man that is the same age as them. Of course not. He said Darren was creepy. And I believe that shit. I mean, you want my mama to raise you? Nigga, if you don't get the fuck up out of here. He didn't know what his mama was thinking. I know what Maria was thinking. Some of that young, strong back. But Maria, that was just a little too young. That nigga wasn't even legal. You couldn't even go to the bar with that nigga yet. No bueno. Well, Maria wasn't trying to hear what her son was saying. So in 2000, the Vans, they moved back to Gary, Indiana, and shit started to go downhill. Of course, because it was starting to go downhill in Austin. You know what I'm saying? You can't run from trouble, honey. You see, Darren was acting like he was single and shit, or rather that he was acting like his young ass age, and Maria wasn't with none of that shit about my husband got a girlfriend. So she packed her bags and left and went back to Texas. I just can't take it anymore. I can't watch you do this anymore. Whatever, bitch. Maria had a fucked up ass wake up call about her good ass man. That's what that was. You see, she found out that he enjoyed the company of sex workers. And that he was also crazy as a rabbit squirrel. See, one of his girlfriends on April 6, 2004 got to see just how crazy Darren was when he tried to barbecue her ass. Yeah. You see, she had an ex that was in a paralyzed type of situation and was in a wheelchair. And Darren's good married ass just knew that she was cheating on him with the man who dick didn't work, right? So one day, he go to the man's house who dick don't work. He crashing the fuck out. He talking about he gonna set this man's house on fire if his girlfriend Sarita don't bring her ass out the house. The man in the wheelchair, I'm talking about the one that can't square up on this crazy ass Darren because he in a motherfucking wheelchair. He trying to play peacemaker, right? Because, I mean, the nigga already been shot. That's why he in the goddamn chair. Darren don't give a fuck. Somebody called the police. Sarita pop up and she try to run in the dick that don't work friend house. Darren kick in the door. Boom. Next thing you know, he done went upside her head, Ike Turner style. Then this motherfucker, I don't know where this come from. This nigga grab a gas can and douse her and his ass with the motherfucking gas, talking about he finna take both they asses to glory. Mind you, the police are outside. They see all this shit, right? Like when I say crash out, this little nigga was crashing the fuck out. The police are like, let the woman go. Darren is like, fuck that shit. And he grab a cigarette lighter. And he like, I'm finna do this bitch. It ain't funny, but can you imagine? You are really sitting here with your married boyfriend. He finna set both of y'all asses on fire. It's time to make better life decisions. Yeah. Some choices that you have made have led you down the wrong motherfucking path. Well, however or whatever, he does not set their ass on fire, right? Some kind of way they get him to let Sarita's ass go. And do you know that after all that felonious fuckery, they only gave this nigga 90 days? 90 motherfucking days. This nigga was a domestic terrorist of magnitudes nobody knew, but the shit they did know, they just let the shit slide. Like he was literally finna barbecue this woman. You cannot make this shit up, right? Well, Darren's young ass out here still doing all this wild shit, but he also realized that he is in need of Maria's financial contributions to his life, so he followed her ass back to Texas to try to keep a closer proximity to her bank account, you know what I'm saying? But that shit was a wrap. He was a young nigga out here doing all kind of serial shenanigans that didn't nobody know about. But maybe Maria did know. That's maybe why she was trying to get away from her young ass, crazy ass husband. And guess what? When he got back to Texas, this nigga got into some real shit. So what you gonna see is that Darren likes to put hands on women. It's a recurring theme in his life. And on December 15th, 2007, he hits up an escort service. Now I told you he liked them sex workers like that. You know what I'm saying? So he hit up the escort service and he hooked up with a 25-year-old sex worker at her apartment. One thing lead to another. But you know, instead of this nigga getting his rocks off, this nigga started throwing hands. Like Darren legit opened up a can of whoop ass on this woman. And after he beat her, he raped her. Then the motherfucker tried to send her ass to the room. But she must have had a praying grandmother, cause she managed to survive. She gets away and she goes to the cops. They arrest Aaron, and this motherfucker got the audacity to be perplexed as to why the cops even care, because she was just a prostitute. He literally said that shit. Like, this nigga was really in his feelings. So in 2008, Darren is convicted of sexual assault on that working girl, right? And he is given time. He serves 5 years. I guess that's better than nothing. He only got 90 days for trying to fricassee a bitch. I guess 5 years is a step up, right? Well, he did his 5 and he is a free man on July 5th, 2013. And I'm talking free. No parole, no probation. This nigga is, however, now on the sex offender registry, but they rank him as a low-risk offender. Boy, them motherfuckers gonna have egg on their face by that shit in a little bit. Anywho, let me keep this story rolling. So while his little ass was locked up, Maria did finally stand on business and got divorced before he could come after her SSI chick, right? Their divorce was final in 2011, I believe. Now that's enough about Darren's marital fiascos and slight criminalistic endeavors. It's time to talk about the real shit Big D was out here doing. Because you know, this is Melanin Mayhem, you know what I'm saying? And we ain't got into the mayhem yet. Now in the beginning, I told you about the smart white man named Thomas and his algorithm on serial killers that the Indiana authorities were ignoring. Now, let me tell you how one crime blew the motherfucking lid off the whole last can of serial killings that was actually going on. It all started with 19-year-old Africa Hardy. Now, Africa was new to the Hammond County, Gary area type of situation. She came from the Windy City. I'm talking about Chi-Town. And you know, she needed ends and dividends to survive in her new city. And I don't know what the job market looked like in Indiana in 2014, but Africa must have decided that she was going to try her luck in the oldest profession around. She was gonna sell that cat, cause we all know that pussy sell when cotton and corn don't, honey. Well, Africa, she went out there on no damn host stroll or nothing like that, because in the year of our Lord 2014, the internet had took the whole game off the streets to the super information highway. I'm talking about the motherfucking internet, and there was a hotastic forum called Backpage. Backpage was a website, and if you were in the business of selling that thing, whatever that thing was, you could take out an ad on Backpage. It was kind of like Craigslist, just more explicitly for sexual commerce. You know what I'm saying? So Africa was going to do her thing from the comfort of her spot. She could advertise her services or whatever. And being new to the area, she made another friend that was of the entrepreneurial spirit as well. Because you know, you have to have somebody looking out for you, right? So Africa has placed her ad and the trick started hitting her up. She do her thing, throw that ass in a circle, collect her coins, and everything was working fine. That is until the one day she set up a meet and skeet with a nigga that was going by the name of Big Boy Appetite. Now the trick off was supposed to go down at the Motel 6, because you know they leave the light on, right? Or so I've heard. Well, Big Boy Appetite ate Africa ass up, honey. Hopefully, literally as well as figuratively, because you see, her friend texted her about an hour after Africa left to do her business, right? And friend said she got a message back, but it didn't look right. You know how your friend texts. You know what I'm saying? You send them a message and you know how they gonna respond. The response wasn't right. So friend gets worried, and friend gets her male friend to go with her over to the Motel 6 where Africa is. They go in the room and find Africa in the bathtub. Gone on to glory, honey. She been strangled and sent on to be with the king on October 17th, 2014. Now, the Hammond police, they are called and they come and do what they do, and they go through her phone records and they see that she had a date with old Big Boy Appetite. So they run down who this nigga is and they come up with Darren's name. Now, when they pick him up, they find Africa's cell phone in his shit, right? So they take him down to the station. Detective Sean Ford questioned that ass for like 3 hours before Darren finally admitted to sending Africa to glory. So Darren is formally arrested October 18th, 2014, and he is charged with the murder of Africa Hardy. And the Hammond police are like, okay, case closed. Time to type up the paperwork and send this nigga on. Another one in the books. Patting himself on the back and shit, you know what I'm saying? But then, in another case of verbal diarrhea. This nigga Darren started snitching on himself for crimes nobody knew about. Oh, yes. He tells them, I messed up by committing a crime in Hammond. What? That sounds kind of ominous, don't it? Like you should have been saying something like, I messed up by committing a crime, full stop. But by saying you messed up by doing it in Hammond, that kind of seems like you're trying to say that you've had better luck doing your murder shenanigans somewhere else. This nigga Darren begins to tell the detective that he had also dated some more chicks. Yes, and Detective Ford was like, what? Nigga, is you for real? I don't believe you. You capping like a motherfucker. And Darren was like, shit, I could show you better than I could tell you. And do you know, the very next day, this nigga takes police on a fucking gruesome ass field trip of all the women that he got stashed around the city. Only they ain't in the land of the living no more, honey. Let me run it down for you. The first body he take them to is 35-year-old Anith Jones. She was last seen October 8th, 2014, as she was leaving the Gary City Courthouse, right? You see, she was taking legal action against the nigga. Handling her business and shit. Now, whatever that business was, I couldn't find out what Anith was taking a nigga to court for. All we know is that when she left the court, she hollered at her peeps, and then she vanished. But on October 10th, 2014, her people file a missing persons report because they know something ain't right. Anith just don't drop off the face of the earth. She's a responsible young lady. Come to find out, Darren was friends with the nigga Anith was taking to court. And punk-ass friend asked Darren to cut Anith's water off so she couldn't take him to court. So Darren did his friend a solid for $300 in cash and $200 worth of cocaine. Yes, honey, $500 retail value for a murder. Darren strangled Anith with a cord and stashed her body in this little wooded area first. Then the nigga went back and moved the dead body to this abandoned house at 413 East 43rd Avenue in Gary. Now, when they found Anith's body, when they went up in the house, it was covered in tires and teddy bears, of all things, and nobody knew she was there. If Darren hadn't taken the police to her body on October 19th, she would still be in that house, forgotten, unknown. This nigga was 43 years old at the time. Now, mind you, I ain't through. Because he taking them on a trip, right? Next is a quadruple play. We got 27-year-old Tanya Gatelin. She was last seen alive in January of 2014. Then there was 36-year-old Kristen Williams. She was last seen alive February 2014. 53-year-old Sonia Billingsley was last seen alive on February 7th, 2014. And 41-year-old Tracy Martin was last seen alive on June 26, 2014. I can tell you their names now, but when they were found on that fateful day, October 19th, 2014, they were all Jane Does. It would take forensics more than a year to identify those women, but once they was identified, baby, Darren would be charged for their murder. Now, he had one last stop on the ladies I killed tour bus, and that was 28-year-old Tierra Beatty. Let me tell you something. Tierra had a man that loved her and would do anything for her. But in late January 2014, Tierra just didn't come home one day. Nobody ever saw her again. Now, her dude, who was also her baby daddy, was distraught. This was not like Tierra. Something was wrong. So he went to the police and he let them know ain't nobody seen her since January 13th, 2014. And the police was like, okay, we'll add her name to the list and we'll let you know if we find something, okay? Thank you, next. Well, Clinton, that's Tierra's boo, he wasn't cool with that shit. Oh, no, honey. So what Clinton do? Took matters into his own hands, baby, and started looking for Tierra himself. You see, the street committee was saying that Tierra was dead and that her body was in one of them abandoned buildings somewhere around Gary. So Clinton then proceeded to start investigating all the abandoned buildings that he came across, never finding Tierra. I mean, this nigga looked in like 40, 50, 60 abandoned houses before the police stepped in and was like, hey, Clinton, you gotta stop, bruh. It ain't safe for you to be poking around in these places where crimes be criming and shit. Okay, that's your job. But Clinton, you know what I'm saying? He got a child to raise and, he can't be caught up in no shit. So he did stop. But it wouldn't be until Darren started snitching on himself that Tierra's body was found, also on October 19th, 2014. At this point, October 19th has been a hell of a day for the Hammond Police Department, right? 6 motherfucking bodies in all states of decomposition was not on their bingo card, honey. And even though old Thomas had tried to hip these law enforcement officials that somebody was doing big time killations in their area, these motherfuckers were shocked and amazed. So as they trying to regroup and figure out what the fuck, what they do? They hold a motherfucking press conference to tout their amazing police work of having a criminal do all their work for them. The police were like, hey y'all, you ain't gonna believe this shit, but we arrested the man that killed the young woman at the Motel 6, so y'all can go back to ho-hopping as usual, okay? We're gonna charge him with murder and murder in perpetration of a robbery and robbery resulting in serious bodily injury for Africa Hardy. Oh, and by the way, we think this nigga's a serial killer that's been fucking up the good women of Lake County for some time, but we got his ass thanks to the hard-working officers of the Hammond Police Department who cracked the case. Y'all ain't cracked shit. Remember, y'all been saying for 4 years that Thomas was a lie and y'all streets was safe. That nigga Darren gift wrapped this serial shit for y'all because y'all didn't have a motherfucking clue. But wait, there's more. While this nigga was singing the blues in that interrogation room, he also told them that he had killed way more women in Illinois than he did in Indiana. That's what the fuck he said. Way more. The fuck is way more? Like, he killed at least 7 that we know of in Indiana. So how many did you do in Illinois? Now, Thomas Good researching ass says about 15 or 20. And if you killed way more than that, that's diabolical. Like, you can't even fathom that. Because guess what? He was not through. When I say verbal diarrhea, I'm talking about the nigga was regurgitating all his shit, right? He said that he killed 4 or 5 women in California, 1 in North Carolina, and that's only because he didn't stay there that long. What the fuck? You dirty motherfucker. He said he killed 2 or 3 in Texas, at least 2 in Milwaukee, 3 in Minnesota, about 7 in Detroit, and a lot in Chicago. What the fuck is a lot? What in the entire fuck, y'all? But the crazy thing is he is so damn nonchalant about the whole damn situation. Like he's just discussing the weather. Oh, it looks like 100% chance of a bitch gonna catch her death today. Yeah, I think I'm gonna strangle a bitch today. Partly sunny, with a chance of strangulation. Nigga, what? Ugh, I can't. Darren said that he did all these women dirty because he was mad. Mad? Mad about what, Nay? He says that shit he got into in Texas in 2009 when the courts had the audacity to convict him of assault because he went upside a bitch head that sold pussy. Honey, he really felt like that should have been okay because that's just a hazard of their line of work. What the fuck? Like, it's some real twisted motherfuckers thinking some real twisted shit out here, y'all. And what's crazy is that after Darren's good cooperating ass did all the heavy lifting for the police investigation, when it was time for him to go to court for the various appearances and whatnot, this nigga opted out. Like, sir, there is no opt-out box. You have to go to court. Not this diabolical nigga. He said unless the courts required his ass to be front and center, he was leaving that shit in the hands of his attorneys. That nigga said, they handle my lightweight. Audacious, I tell you. I told y'all. Honey. Well, they would eventually land on charging Darren with just 2 of the murders at first. That was for Africa Hardy and for Anith Jones. And Darren, of course, pleaded not guilty, even though you the reason that they even know about Anith. You know this, right? Your good snitching ass was claiming all these murders in 2014. Don't stop now, nigga. They had a whole bunch of court dates, y'all. A whole bunch of court dates and postponements and shit. That shit went on through 2016, right? And I think at this point, the prosecution was pissed that it was taking so long because the defense was doing everything that they could to make this shit go as slow as possible. So the prosecution was like, okay, I got something for that ass. they hit Darren with 5 more charges of murder in March of 2016 for the rest of his Indiana victims. You killed 7, nigga, you gonna answer for all 7. And at the end of all this, nigga, we planning on killing that ass. Understand, this is death penalty cases, okay? And I think it was at that point that Darren really stopped giving a fuck. I mean, it wasn't like he had many fucks to give anyway, but at this point, he was like, fuck it all. He just started crashing the fuck out while he was in jail, right? This nigga catch a rape charge, several assault charges, and a battery by bodily waste. Say that fast 3 times. Battery by bodily waste. Battery by bodily waste. Battery by bodily waste. Okay, I'll off track. What this nigga did was throw some shit at one of the COs. Like, you's a real nasty motherfucker, literally. I can't even imagine. A motherfucker throw shit on me. Can't have no pistol. That's assault. I was in field my life. Child. Shit. Ooh, woosah, woosah. This won't even happen to me. Why am I getting so worked up? Moving on. It's our anniversary. We ain't got time for this, Nay. Anyway, it wouldn't be until May 4th, 2018 that Darren Van would finally face the music. But this nigga didn't have no trial because he made a deal to take that damn death penalty off the table and let him rock out with life without the possibility of parole. And so he signed the paperwork, and his final sentencing was on May 25th, 2018, where they formally gave that ass 7 consecutive life sentences for each and every one of his victims in Indiana. Sir, you will never open a door by yourself again. There will always be somebody in the room with you when you shit and piss for the rest of your life, honey. And that's too good for the likes of you with your raping, murdering ass. Darren Dion Van is prisoner 251937 at the Wabash Valley Level 3 facility in Carlisle, Indiana. This raping raper that raped and murdering murderer that murdered is 54 years old, and he still got a lot of years left for the taxpayers of Indiana to foot the bill to keep his punk ass alive. I am disgusted. Like, this nigga has admitted to killing so many women that it's mind-boggling. This is the type of criminal that you drop off in Swoop Swanistan and you say just good luck. Like, I hope you do well. Godspeed. There are remote and desolate, isolated places on this rock that we call Earth. I think it's time that we start dropping these motherfuckers off. Trump want to fly illegal aliens out of the U.S., I think it's time that we start flying these motherfucking criminals that ain't gonna never be reformed and shouldn't be given a chance to reform outside of the U.S. Like, sentence they ass to the caveman experience. Oh yes, we going old school for real, honey. No help, no shelter, no electricity. You just gotta figure it out. Kind of like they do on Survivor. You know what I'm saying? Drop their ass off and it's survival of the fittest in the middle of the desert or the tundra. You know what I'm saying? And the motherfuckers with life without parole, first up, if we ain't gonna never let your ass out, we ain't footing the bill either. Oh, you got a death sentence and you doing the appeal process, we gonna drop your ass off too. And if by chance you win that appeal, we'll come back and get you. That is, if you still around. I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe in the concept of jail and prison for certain crimes. It's where you go when you have run afoul of the law. You know what I'm saying? You go do your penance and you come out a changed person who never wants to go back in that place again. But on the other hand, if you like jail, the ones who can't stay out that motherfucker, they always in jail like it's the club or some shit. Fine. If you like it, we love it. To the desert you go along with the rest of the prison crew. Let me tell you something. That would cut down on recidivism. There are known criminals with fucking frequent flyer types of charges, right? And they got a record a mile long. Charge after charge. Robbing, raping, assaulting. Just over and over and over again. Clearly, they don't give a fuck. So why do the rest of us have to live with these motherfuckers within our midst? They are only here to hunt us. So I say, if you got 20 or more convictions of anything other than murder and rape, that's your ass. And I think 20 is frankly too much, right? But for the sake of being humane and giving a motherfucker a chance to do right, let's do 20 before we banish that ass. I mean, shit, some states got 3 strikes and that's your ass laws. Every time they in front of the judge be like, okay, this your 18th time. 2 more and that's your ass. Motherfucker come back. Again, the judge say, all right, this your 19th time. You do anything else, and the next time you gonna get booted from society. Okay. That motherfucker jaywalk. Snatch his ass up and send him or her to Antarctica to the penal colony of the lost cause. Ain't no guards. There ain't even a runway for the plane to land. They just strap a parachute on that ass, open the door, and push a motherfucker out. Wherever you land, that's your new home. If that don't make a motherfucker think twice, I don't know what will. Okay, before I put this one completely to bed, I want to say that the Gary police and other law enforcement officials that ignored evidence that there was a serial killer on the loose are some trifling ass, dereliction of duty ass, piss poor excuse ass excuses for community leaders that I have ever seen or had the displeasure of reading about. Here is some actual factual evidence. Not some Looney Tune talking about they psychic and shit, but actual data on crimes that are actually on your books. And the nigga a sour creamian at that, doing what sour creamians do, looking into some shit that ain't got shit to do with them and trying to help. Thomas was trying to speak to the manager. The manager didn't give a damn neither. The fact that the mayor and the police chief were black men and that they disregarded the warning about these black women who were losing their lives to what was possibly a serial killer loose on the streets. You had a heads up. This man was persistent. Even the goddamn coroner was in the A-man corner. And only to have it come out that he did know what the fuck he was talking about all along. That is the height of tell me you don't give a fuck without saying it. Y'all gonna have the absolute audacity to have a press conference congratulating yourself for a job well done after Darren just laid the murders in your arms like a newborn baby? Y'all didn't even know that the shit was going on, much less to the magnitude. These murders were being committed in your own damn county, and you were shocked and amazed. Trifling. 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 I can't stand it. Last thing I'm going to say is that Darren confessed to killing 30 or more women across the nation. What about them? Anybody going to go talk to Darren? Are they going to try to tie him to unsolved murders within their jurisdictions? Like California, Texas, North Carolina, Chicago, Detroit. Anybody going to go talk to Darren? Apparently not, because Darren was never charged with any other crime in any other state, even though he listed all this shit on his confession. And sure, he's serving life. He will never get out of prison, thankfully, but he killed a lot of women. How many families are out there waiting for a loved one to come home, wanting to find out the truth about what happened to them or where their bodies are, right? And these answers ain't gonna never come. And guess what else? A pattern of killations will never be revealed. Counties and cities can go about never acknowledging that a serial killer was hunting their citizens. And that's scary as fuck, y'all. Because how many still out there right now? How many right now are being hunted? How many serial killers are out here being conveniently ignored by law enforcement officials who don't want to hear the word of Thomas? Because please understand, Thomas is still out here doing the good work. He is still tracking serial killers. He is still looking at these anomalies in these different municipalities, and he is still sharing that information. But until I told y'all about Thomas, y'all ain't know shit about Thomas Hargrove. Get into it. And now let's get into some other shit because it's our motherfucking anniversary, bitch. 365 days old, baby. 53 episodes of prolific criminals. Yes, honey. Thank y'all for rocking with me the way you do. And I hope this next 365 days I can continue to do this thing that I love and bring y'all even more stories of the melanins that's out here mayheming it up. Starting with a new selection of stories in the Melanin Mayhem Love Kill series. Yes, I'm going to be bringing you the stories of people that either loved somebody to death literally or love made them do some stupid shit. Melanin Mayhem Love Kills episodes will drop every other Friday. starting this week. Yes, New Orleans Nation, I told you I had presents. So every other week, you'll get 2 episodes of your favorite country girl. Now, every Wednesday, we ain't stopping doing what we doing, right? I'm just saying, every other Friday, starting this Friday, you're going to have a episode from the Love Kill series. We'll see how y'all like that, and we will go from there, right? Now, you can also check out my appearance on the Panther Politics podcast. I would have recorded it on Wednesday the 16th. And you know, those guys over there, they do video, honey. So you can check out the country girl in her full HD glory, baby. This week's New Orleans Nation shout out goes to Jalen's mom, who left a review on Spotify titled Instant Fan. She says, your podcast is the best. I started listening a month ago and heard the current episode. I was so caught up in your storytelling that I had to go back and listen to every episode. You are a true storyteller and your delivery is amazing and hilarious. Thank you for the stories that I have never heard of before. Well, Jalen's mom, thank you, Sugar, for your kind words and for taking the time to lead a country girl a review. Baby girl, I appreciate you, and I hope to keep you coming back for more and more and more. Okay, so one last thing. I was so caught up in trying to get things ready for the Love Kill series, we haven't really taken the time to properly celebrate our 1-year anniversary. So what you think, New One Nation? Would y'all come out to hang with the country girl if I put together a little crime kickback type of situation somewhere in the city of Atlanta? Let me know what you think. If enough of you say that you down, I think I got just the spot for us to get together and do some shenanigans, New Orleans Nation style. I'm going to put a poll on the podcast as well as on the social media pages on Facebook and Instagram to kind of gauge interest. And y'all keep them DMs coming and let me know what y'all feel about that. You know what I'm saying? So all that's left for you to do now is for you to go tell a friend to tell a friend and tell your mama and them that it's about to go down in the A-Town, baby. The weather getting nice. Ooh, them sundresses finna come out, honey. It's toes out season and we finna be outside, baby. But I tell you what, until we talk next week, stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready to buy your ticket to the crime kickback with the country girl. It's one love, New Orleans Nation, and your favorite country girl is out of here.